What's up, Panthers Nation? We're back today with another video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Rocking the new Panthers hat. Loving it. If you guys feel like getting the merch, go to panthers.com/shop. You can get that merchandise there. As well as many other websites. So, we're going to dive right in. This is the preview for the Houston Texans game. In Houston, starting with Deshaun Watson. We have to keep him contained. We have to keep him pressured and out of his element. That's the main key to getting him to not get 5-yard runs up the middle, to not have him run to the outside, stuff like that. We have to keep him in the pocket and throwing the ball to where we can control the outcome. And I can't stress that enough because we have Bradbury on DeAndre Hopkins, so that should be handled. We got Trey Boston backing him up, hopefully. And Eric Reed will be busy with somewhere else, handling the rest of the wide receivers and the runs. But he can help out whenever he has a chance as well. So, here's my thoughts on the Texans game. Number one, I'm glad that Greg Little is starting. The depth chart looks incredibly thin, dangerously thin at left tackle. We got Darrell Williams that's supposed to start at that spot, and we have Greg Little behind him, and then that's it. Nothing beyond that. You already know my thoughts. If you've watched my rants, you already know. I'm not going to get into that again. So, if we can establish the running game, Christian McCaffrey will take care of business. Greg Olsen will take care of business. Kyle Allen will throw some darts. I feel like we have a solid shot against the Texans. They are going to be tricky to contain on defense because of the fact that Watson likes to run a lot. He'll get out of the pocket, he'll extend plays, he'll keep it going, and he'll find somebody. Like, 7 out of 10 times, he will find somebody. So you have to cover these guys up well. You cannot take the play off. You cannot get lazy. You cannot pass go and collect $200. Not in this game. You need to cover these guys. Watson is a very dangerous and accurate passer. And this is not the first time that we've actually had to face quarterbacks like that, because, there's Russell Wilson out there, there's, you all fill in the blank with the appropriate quarterback, but this is going to be a very dangerous game and a very tough test for us. We've got to get that win. We've got to keep it moving. We've got to see where we go from here. This is a team that has a lot of potential if we can fix our weaknesses. And we have enough of them that it's a potential problem, but we also have enough positive that it outweighs most of those negatives. So if we can get, some drives started, keep them moving, don't shoot ourselves in the foot, I think we've got a solid shot at putting up some points. Now, I will say this about the Texans defense. They do have some pretty decent corners. So we're going to have some trouble getting some of those medium to deep passes going. So, like I said in the schedule prediction video, I think that we should go to a 2 tight end set on a few plays. Get Ian Thomas involved. Get an extra blocker out there for Christian McCaffrey, or get an extra blocker out there for somebody else that you decide to put out there. Just mix it up. Get Chris Hogan involved. Get Alex Arma involved. That's what these guys are there for. Move the ball around like we did against the Cardinals. I think, we'll start moving the chains and we'll start seeing some positive drives. You know, um, with Trey Turner out, I'm not sure who actually takes his place. I haven't seen on the depth chart yet who actually is supposed to take his spot. I think it's going to be Darrell Williams because he moved back over to right guard. Uh, Being that Greg Little is back, so now the question remains: what is the other pass rusher on the opposite side of J.J. Watt going to do? We all know what J.J. Watt can do. But without an adequate pass rusher on the other side that is above average, J.J. Watt's going to be pretty quiet throughout the game. Throughout 3/4 of it, at least. I think this is not the game you want to see J.J. start heating up. This is not the one. I think if we can get him contained and not rushing constantly at Kyle Allen, I think we got a shot. And possibly getting some quicker passes out and some nice passes that could potentially move the chains. Get that rushing game going. And on defense, let's try to stop the draw. Let's try to stop the draw. And I'm talking to Shaq Thompson here. This is your responsibility. Step up. Stop the draw. Close up the gap. I believe this is your opportunity to step up and shine. You're drafted to do both pass and rushing coverage. So, let's see what you got. Get it done, man. I want to see Dante Jackson and Trey Boston not take plays off. This is an important game. We cannot afford for these two to slack off in this game. Otherwise, Watson's just going to keep throwing over there all day long. All day long. Like, that's what I would do if I was Watson and I had an arm like that. And, I mean, if you leave him open enough for enough plays, Watson won't even have to leave the pocket. He won't even have to move. He'll just have to avoid a couple of people, dance around, toss it over there, and Action Jackson gets burnt. Yeah. And the fact that Trey Boston is having trouble tackling and getting lazy on tackles bothers me a lot. And now Dante is starting to get lazy on tackling. He gave up a touchdown last week against the Cardinals. An easy touchdown, by the way. He wanted the big play. Again, after he got the one big play, he got greedy. Dude, you can't get greedy when you're facing Texans wide receivers. I understand that these guys are not the best out there. Bradbury's on the best one. He's got that corner on lockdown. But you have to step up. Trey can help you out over there. But you got to step up. And I feel like he's going to get burned a lot in this game tomorrow. I feel like that's going to happen. And I'm a little bit worried that Eric Reed is going to have to come over there and try to help out. And it's not going to be pretty. So, the thing that we need to focus on most is getting Watson uncomfortable. That'll help a lot with Dante over there on plays that he doesn't fully get involved in or get lazy on or just overall misses a tackle, And he'll miss tackles, so will Trey, on easy run plays, just like sweeps to the left that are just simple to defend. And honestly, I can't say this enough. When you've got a decent running back like Houston does, you cannot allow 10 to 15 yards a pop. You can't do that as a corner. You're going to get blocked. You got to get off your blocks. Same goes for everybody else on that side. These offenses are finding a weakness over there. And that's scary. We got to close that up. We got to close the gaps. And it starts with you, Shaq. Close the gaps. If they get 3 to 4, fine. If they get more than 5, we're in big trouble. Because that means they can run circles around our secondary. And I'm not about that. Because the Cardinals did it last week. And I'm not pleased with that. Considering that they don't have very many weapons. You know, Bradbury had Larry Fitzgerald locked down for a good chunk of that game. He didn't get many catches. So I think putting Bradbury on DeAndre Hopkins is a good idea. That's an excellent idea, actually. So we'll see where we go from here. You know, can Kyle repeat last week's performance? We'll see. You know, get creative with your playbook, Norv. Let's see what we can come up with here. We have a foundation now. Let's see. And hopefully that will turn it into points. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us for this video. Don't forget to like, sub, and hit that bell so you don't miss any new content. And as always, keep pounding. Peace.